Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of the 10-Minute Moan. The topic of this 10-Minute Moan is these two guys who are at court just now for the Manchester airport attack, where several police officers and a member of the public sustained injuries, and these guys were charged with their assaults. Now, what I'm not going to do is get myself into bother for a video, because I'm already in enough bother right now as it stands about my videos. So I'm going to just use mainstream media, quotes for them, what they're reporting on this trial, without putting any opinion on it or any slant on it. So I'm only using the words that are already out there by professionals reporting on this incident. So the one I'm going to use first is the Greater Manchester News, because I kind of thought the Manchester Evening News would probably be the best place to start. So I'm going to use them. Their headline is Manchester Airport Police Assault Trial Live as Accused Brothers in Court with updates, right? So, first thing I tell you covering the story is two brothers are in court today standing trial over an alleged altercation with police at Manchester Airport. This was obviously written yesterday because we're into day two. They were charged following the publication of video footage of an alleged incident involving police officers and members plural, of the public in July last year. Now, there was some confusion in July last year when some people suggested that they were attacked by the police and getting arrested for nothing. It since came to light through the court trials, as you'll hear, in their words, involved an alleged incident involving police officers and members, that's more than one, of the public last July. Mohammed Fahir Amaaz, 20, and Mohammed Ahmad, 26, both of Tarnside Close in Rochdale, deny the charges they face. Mr. Amaaz is charged with assaulting a member of the public, Mr. Abdulkareem Hamzah Abbas Ismaeil, by beating him on July the 23rd at Manchester Airport. And you might think, what happened there? Well, one of the other outlets tell us their version and interpretation of what happened there, and I'll come to that in a minute. He faces a second charge that he assaulted PC Zachary Marsden, causing actual bodily harm on the same day, also at Manchester Airport. A third charge alleges he assaulted PC Lydia Ward, causing actual bodily harm on the same date at the airport. A fourth charge alleges he assaulted by beating an emergency worker, PC Ellie Cook. So the younger of the two, he's up for 4 charges. 2 police officers who are female, 1 male, and 1 member of the public. Co-defendant Mr. Ahmad, his brother, faces a single charge, namely that of assaulting PC Zachary Marsden. He seems to have been, or alleged to have been, assaulted by both brothers. Selecting a panel of 12 jurors before the start of the trial, Judge Neil Fluick KC told them it's highly likely this case will be reported in the media, whether in the press, TV, or the radio, or elsewhere. It is also highly likely to be subjected of comment in social media. Although I cannot stop you reading about this case in the media or on social media, it is of the utmost importance that you do not, I think that's meant to be not allow yourselves to be influenced by anything you may have heard or read about. Judge Fluick urged the jurors not to discuss the case with anyone outside the jury, as it is a collective assessment of evidence entered into court that matters. The trial was set to start today at 10 a.m. and is scheduled to last 3 to 4 weeks. Isn't that incredible? How will it take that amount of time? Surely you would just show them a video and say, is that you? Kinda end of story. So I don't kinda understand this one. Anyway, where did we get to? Trial begins. The Crown tells the jurors, 2 defendants, blah, 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 the brothers are travelling. Right, here's the bit. A man named Abdulkareem was on the same flight as the defendant's mother. Their mother was due to arrive back in the United Kingdom from a flight from Qatar. They had with him their young nephew. He was travelling, this is Abdulkareem, he was travelling with his wife and 3 young children. It is clear that on the flight and or shortly after it landed, something happened between the defendant's mother and Abdulkareem that made the defendant's mother unhappy. So the prosecutor continued, the defendants met their mother in the arrivals area of Terminal 2 and began to walk to the car park with her and the child that was with them. As they did so, they passed the Starbucks coffee shop. Abdulkareem was in there with his wife and children. The defendant's mother spotted Abdulkareem and pointed out to her sons. At just after 8:20 p.m, the defendants entered Starbucks and confronted Abdulkareem. During that confrontation, Mohammed Fahir Amaaz, the first defendant, delivered a headbutt to the face of Abdulkareem and punched him, then attempted to deliver other blows, all in front of a number of children. The prosecution case is that this was obviously unlawful conduct by the first defendant. He faces a charge of assault, beating in respect to this behaviour. The prosecutor then told jurors, officers who were already within the airport went to the coffee house, but the defendants had already left. They'd walked the short distance to the Terminal 2 car park. Police tracked them there, and at 8:28, so 8 minutes later, 3 officers entered the payment area. Those 3 officers were PC Zachary Marsden, PC Ellie Cook, and PC Lydia Ward. The officers attempted to move Mohammed Fahir Amaaz, the first defendant, away from the payment machine in order to arrest him, but he resisted, and his brother, Mohammed Ahmad, intervened. Both defendants assaulted PC Marsden in the moments that followed. The first defendant also assaulted PC Cook and PC Ward, breaking her nose. Now, did we not have a bit of a story then, where at the time there was people suggesting that they broke a female's nose and we were told that didn't happen? Or did I just dream that? Strange world we live in. The defendants used a I know what it was. The photographs were used, we were told that wasn't that woman. So it might not have been it didn't happen. But I remember there was photographs of a police officer in an ambulance or something. That might have been what I'm getting confused with. Where are we? The defendants used a high level of violence. Both defendants face a charge of assaulting PC Marsden so as to cause him actual bodily harm. The first defendant also faces charges of assaulting PC Ward so as to cause her actual bodily harm and charges of assault an emergency worker in respect of violence towards PC Cook. Why is one a PC and one's a emergency worker? It's a bit weird. Anyway, Mr. Greene said that is a brief introduction to what the case is about. The position of the prosecution is that it's not a complicated case. The events you are concerned with were captured by CCTV and in relation to the events in the payment area on the body-worn cameras by the police officers as well. So you will not have to depend on any recollections of witnesses. You'll be able to see with your own eyes what happened. And that's kind of cool, isn't it? You would think so. The jurors are told the defendants claim they were acting in self-defence or in the defence of each other. The prosecutor said your role as jurors will be to analyse the footage, watch and listen to the witnesses who were there, including the defendants, if they choose to give evidence, and decide whether you are sure that the defendants acted unlawfully or whether, in respect to any particular charge, it may be the case that they were acting in a lawful self-defence. Our prediction is that you will readily conclude that the defendants were not acting in a lawful self-defence and that their conduct was unlawful across the offences alleged against them. One thing I want to say about this, and it's totally unrelated to this crime, obviously, I'm just talking hypothetically. So is this a suggestion that I could walk into a coffee shop, headbutt, punch and try to punch somebody another time and it's lawful self-defence? Because that's an interesting concept. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in this case. But there's also been a suggestion by some on Twitter, and I can only say a suggestion, it may be untrue, that there's been at least an attempt to squash this case by claiming that the previous lawyer of these guys had his office contents taken for another investigation against him and somehow managed to get some evidence and they're terming it unlawful. I can't confirm this at this point, but I wouldn't put it past. The guy who's their lawyer is well known to Scottish people because he's a Scottish lawyer. And he gets involved in a lot of cases, and he kind of type of lawyer that tries to not gain a not guilty because his clients are necessarily not guilty, but to try and use loopholes, mistakes, that sort of stuff to get stuff flung out. So it is a tactic used by him often. But it'll be interesting to know how this one pans out in terms of, is this claim that there's an attempt to get the trial put off true or false? So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, click the like button, share it, and put some comments below. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. However, most important than all that, unless you're the type of person who allegedly walks into Starbucks to headbutt and punch people returning from holiday with their children, or police officers who want to move you away from a pay station so they can ask you some questions, then not you.
Everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.